Hey, what's going on, guys? The Like Butter here. Welcome back to another Division video. Today I want to show you my updated high-end build. I've been having a lot of people ask me in my streams and on my YouTube videos to do like an updated build. So I just want to show you guys what I've changed and what I've done since the last build and kind of give you a breakdown of why I changed those things. Alright, so this is a build that can be used both in PvP and PvE. It works very, very good in PvP. In PvE, it works good as well, given the circumstances. Now, obviously, this is more of a PC build because the way that it kind of works is around headshot damage with my assault rifle. Now, a lot of people ask in my video, how am I putting the NPCs down so fast? Well, on PC, you have a lot more accuracy when it comes to being able to control the weapon and that kind of thing. So if you do want to, make this build on console, there are some small things that I would change, and I'll discuss those with you guys. Now, some of these pieces can be really frustrating to get because they are exotics, but I will give you fill-in pieces that you can put in the place of those exotics as well. So I am using an assault rifle and a sniper. You can use a SMG with this. You can use an LMG. You can really use whatever you want. It's all dependent on the weapon type that you enjoy the most. I think assault rifles are still just a smidget the best right now, with SMGs being a close second. So I would suggest using one of those things. And I'm actually using a lightweight M4 because I tried the police M4. I used to use the police M4, but the recoil pattern on the lightweight is so much easier to control. I would definitely suggest doing that instead of police M4, or an LVOAC would be super good here as well. So let's go right into the attachments. Now, like I said, this is built around headshot damage. You're going to have that 16% extra damage from your Skulls MC gloves. So this VX1 scope, with the crit damage, the crit chance, and the headshot damage, is going to give you a huge boost in burst. Now, boost and burst, that was an interesting combo there. Didn't really roll off the tongue like I thought it would. But this is not a great scope here. I can get better. Like, you can get like 18.5% or 18%, and then you can get like 4 crit damage and I think 3 crit chance. So I've been on the look for a better VX1 scope. Haven't found one yet, unfortunately, but that's something I'll be going for very soon. My Omega rifle suppressor, which is also based on headshot damage. It's got crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage, so you can see a pattern between these two things. My small grip, because I want a little bit of that extra crit damage, so when I crit and when I'm hitting with my armor pen, it's like multiplying the damage by large amounts. Also, this little bit of stability helps because the recoil pattern for the lightweight M4 is vertical, whereas like for the police M4, it's more horizontal. So this stability helps a lot because it basically just makes it so that your recoil doesn't go up as fast, makes it a little bit easier to control. You might want to go, you could go with something else, like if you wanted to do, I don't know, like an angled grip or a vertical grip to give you much more stability, or even like accuracy. If you needed that, you could do one of the laser sights. But that's entirely up to you. That depends on your play. I personally think you get the most value out of that extra 20% crit damage. And then obviously an extended mag with rate of fire, reload speed, and mag size. Now, I honestly think that you can get away with using something that has crit chance and crit damage on it, and I don't even think you really need the rate of fire. I like having the rate of fire, but if you look, I mean, it's only increasing your RPM by 44 rounds per minute, which, if you do the math, it ends up being like, I don't know, every 2 seconds or every 1.5 seconds, you'll shoot an extra bullet. So it's not a super big deal, and I think it's kind of a waste. I really think I'd much rather have crit chance and crit damage here on my magazine, but for right now, that's kind of just what I'm using. The extra mag size is nice, which I think soon extended mags are going to be getting a buff. Well, technically sort of a buff. Like basically the new extended mags are going to become better than the old extended mags. So the extended mags are going to go up to like 124%. So you definitely want to hold on to your good extended mags that are up near like 110%. I don't know if those are going to scale up. I think they will. So make sure to hold on to those. And for my secondary, I am using a custom M44 with another VX1 scope. This obviously is a little bit better than my other one, and I want it to be that way because I want to do as much headshot damage as possible. So you can see a similar pattern here as the other weapon. Pretty much the same thing. You got the small grip, which I think I have a better small grip. Why do I have that one on? Okay, that's why. That one's still a little bit better though. Reload speed, accuracy, nah. Yeah, let's take that. Okay, so yeah, I had the wrong underbarrel on, but whatever. Also, same thing, extended mag. I really hope they do a buff to the non-extended mags soon, because I think the high velocity magazines and stuff like that, even if they gave them like 50% mag size as a stat, I think people would use it. But the problem is with how many bullets you shoot in the division, you can never get value out of those smaller mags. I'm using a 93R for my pistol. You guys can honestly use whatever you want. The pistols aren't super great at this point in time. Now, I switched out Vigorous chest piece for Barrett's. Vigorous works just as good in a way. I think Barrett's is okay. The only problem with Barrett's is like the extra 5% skill power is like okay. It's not going to give you a huge amount, but you are going to be using specialized, which is going to increase the amount of skill power that you have, so that percentage is going to multiply more than it would be if you had like super low skill power. Also, that extra did I say 5%? I meant 10%. The extra 5% that you're going to be getting on damage is definitely super cool. You got to pay attention to your skills though. You pop it with like a pulse, which is what we're using in this build. So like if you pop your pulse, you get that 5% extra damage plus the the crit chance, the crit damage that you get from your pulse. It makes it super strong for PvE and also very good for PvP as well. And then also like the increased armor by 10%, obviously that's not going to be huge, right? I mean, if you look at the armor that I have on this build, I think 35% being the max that you can get if you have max rolls on all your armor, which is super hard. Excuse me. This mitigates 31.3%. 10% of 31.3% is 3.13%. So really my armor is going up to, you know, something around like 34-ish, 34.5-ish%. It's not super great, you know, or sorry, yeah, almost 35%, just give or take. So it's not helping a huge amount like it used to. It used to give you like 6% armor because everyone had 60% armor mitigation. So it's not super great, but it's still good. It's still a very good exotic. And if you wanted to run Vigorous, you could do that too. However, if you are going to run Vigorous, I would try to get a little bit more skill power. Now, that would be maybe like on your backpack as a major attribute. You get skill power there or somewhere else because you need to get more skill power so that when you use your booster shot, you get more heal, because without having a decent heal, your overheal on Vigorous is kind of not that great. However, I think if you're playing Last Stand and you're doing PvP and you have like, you know, 7 other teammates and most people run a heal, I think that's much more beneficial. But for PvE, definitely go with Barrett's because you can control the, you know, it has so much versatility. It's so versatile because you can use it in different situations to help out either your damage output, your heal, or like, you know, your defense. Okay, Tenacious Mask is pretty obvious. Medkits just recently got a buff, which makes Tenacious even better because you're going to be getting that small bit of mitigation from your player talents. You're also going to be getting a damage boost, which means you can fight like straight up right after you pop a medkit. And also it's super hard to predict when someone's going to use a medkit because obviously you don't know if their medkit's on cooldown or, you know, the animation is super fast. So if you're like on fire, like if you guys don't know, in 1.6 they added a buff to the medkits where you would remove all your debuffs. So that would mean, like, you know, if you're slowed with bleed or you're on fire or anything like that, you can use your med kit and remove that status effect. So this is actually super good because, for example, like say you're on fire and somebody's like, oh my God, this is my opportunity. Let me light this guy up. And they put themselves in a really terrible position to shoot you. You pop that med kit, you get that damage boost, you get that health, and you also get that resistance. And then you can return fire on them and usually get the kill. So that's super good. I like running a little bit of exotic damage resilience right now too, so I think this is a really, really good major attribute. You can go for the enemy armor damage, but I don't think it's necessary. I think you get enough on your assault rifle, but that's entirely up to you. If you do only play PvE, enemy armor damage is the way to go here, since you're going to be shooting enemies that have armor almost all the time. Blind and death resist, this minor attribute really doesn't matter much. I think burn resist is honestly the best, but that's entirely up to you. And you can also run like a refreshed mask. I haven't tried the refreshed mask yet with the new medkit buff. I would like to try it. I don't think I have a refreshed mask on me. Also, enduring is super good too. I heard that this will like constantly help heal you over time. It's almost like your last segment of health is essentially like it was, with the glitch. You guys remember the glitch, the status effect glitch with Rehabilitated, where you would throw a nade at yourself, you'd status effect yourself, and then you would constantly heal 2% over time. Apparently enduring is super, super strong, but I still like going tenacious because, you know, damage. For my knee pads, and by the way, guys, just to let you know, all of my mods are just health and firearms. That's basically it. We're running health and firearms on everything, just in case you thought I was skipping over that. Also, performance mods, we're doing first aid self-heal because we want to get that heal as high as possible. And then obviously short bow championship knee pads are so strong for PvP. I cannot stress it enough. Being able to throw a grenade at someone's feet, being able to throw that shock nade or that incendiary and not give them time to react and roll out of the area of effect is super, super strong. So make sure you try to get your short bow championship knee pads. The way I got mine was just running Madison Field Hospital like, I don't know, 100 times. The cool thing though is that I do have a video which I will try to remember to put in the description below, of like a method where you can maximize your experience that you're going to gain, and you can get a lot of field proficiency caches from running through Madison Field Hospital a lot, and you will get more chances at getting exotics through those field proficiency caches. So that's definitely a good method there if you want to try to get those short bow knee pads. Specialized backpack, I mean the regular high end, you can find it pretty much anywhere in the open world, or you know, in your crates, or just really anywhere. And specialized is very important because you're putting all your stats into firearms and stamina, which means it's going to boost your skill power. You can see we're almost at 120,000 skill power with Barrett's and specialized, so that's really good. I like running health. Like I said before, if you are doing vigorous, I would try and get skill power here as a major health, as a major attribute. Even though it'll lower your toughness a little bit, it will give you more survivability. And also, if you're using something on your weapon, which I think I did fail to show my talents. Did I not show you guys my talents on the weapons? You guys are probably super pissed. I'm using Unforgiving, Responsive, Competent on my AR, and also Brutal, Prepared, and Destructive. But if you have something like Competent, it's nice to pop your heal even when you're full health if you're using Vigorous, because you get that overheal, you get that little bit of resistance from the booster shot, and you know, you're going to do that extra damage, and you're going to take less damage too. So you'll win a lot of engages and a lot of trades in Last Stand or in the Dark Zone. For my gloves, I think it's pretty obvious we're using Skull MC gloves. Assault rifle damage, crit chance, that's usually the same for everything. And we are going to head over, and by the way, it's much better here to have, I can't stress enough, the minor attribute on your backpack, you need to get that ammo capacity. So that's one thing I'm looking at. I'm looking for a better specialized bag, which will be hard for me to find. And then nimble holster is a must-have. Even after the nerf, like I think they're going to be doing a nerf to it maybe in the first patch. That should be coming out, I would think, in like a couple of weeks, because they said there's going to be a patch before the summer patch. Maybe it won't be in a couple of weeks. I don't know. But they did state that there's going to be a PTS for that patch. It's going to be PC only, but then the patches after that, there's going to be PTS on console. So make sure you guys, are looking up for that. So Nimble is just way too strong. Like, it's just insane to not have it. It'll help you get through PvE content right now. You can basically just run from cover to cover to cover. I'll also show you a talent that I'm running as well that's going to help you when you're mid-run. And this is a super low armor roll, but you can see the rolls here are very, very good. And then we have health too, which is what you want on most of your major stats. If you're going more glass canny or more DPS, you want to get health as a major stat on your gear. Now, if you're going more tanky, and I know it's like this patch is kind of hard because with the lower armor and the fact that you can only get so much health from stamina and health on your gear, even when you do build just pure tank, it is a little bit harder to sponge like you used to because of the lack of mitigation and things like that. But if you did want to do like a tankier build, I'd highly suggest Nomad. And in those cases, you can go for more skill power and more health on your gear as long, with the amount of stamina as well. And that's pretty much it. So let me look here and show you guys the skills that I'm using. I'm using, in PvP, you want to use Scrambler. In PvE, you want to use Tactical Scanner if that's what you want to do. If you have a talent on your gun like I do, like Competent, you're going to want to use something like that, because don't forget something like Healing Station or Shock Turret or any turret in general, like it's not going to proc that. That's honestly something that I wish they would fix. I don't think you should be kind of held back from using something like a Healing Station just because it's not going to proc that skill. But from the most part, the last time I was in the DZ, it seemed like almost everyone was using Healing Stations and no one was using it for actual healing. Everyone was kind of just getting it for that heal that you get from putting it down and blowing it up. It's honestly, I get it. It makes sense, but it's kind of lame to see people use a skill like that. But I doubt that it'll get changed. And then also your heal, this is dependent. I like Booster Shot, the extra damage and damage resistance. And even though the heal isn't huge, I mean, you can see here 70,000 HP heal. Now, if you wanted to do like a better heal, you could do the Overdose, which would help a lot considering you're using Barretts. You could also do that. I would highly suggest, though, that you stick with the Booster Shot because it's still super, super strong. And for player talents, which is pretty important, 2 of my player talents are built around Nimble because I'm running from cover to cover so much to get my health back. You want to run Tactical Advance and you want to run Evasion Action. Evasion Action is actually super underrated. Somebody in my stream suggested it for me, and when I read it, I was like, holy shit, that's really good. During a cover to cover move, incoming damage is reduced by 30%. 30%. So in PvE, rarely are they ever going to knock you out of your animation. In PvP, a really good player is just going to throw a nade where you're running and knock you out of that, unless you're being a really sneaky ninja and you're running Final Measure, which I've seen people running Final Measure with Nimble, and it's like the most frustrating thing ever because you can't do enough damage to kill them when they're running cover to cover, and your nades just get diffused. So it's like, ugh, so frustrating, but it's a cool build. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting when you see someone run it. Critical Save. I think Critical Save is good with Nimble because you can pop Critical Save when you're super low, get that resistance, and then run from cover to cover, get your health up, and then you have, for an extra, probably like 8 or 7 seconds, you still have all that resistance, that 20%, plus the resistance that you're going to have when you're running, which is another 30%. And then obviously One Is None, I think, is a must-have in every scenario possible, because if you're aiming for the head like you are in this build, you're going to be getting a lot of ammo back. So that is my high-end build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop the video a like, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Fisted, bro.